This is from National Geographic. It's some of the, extreme weather events. And that in itself looks extreme. I mean, it's a beautiful piece of nature's artwork. It is. It's beautiful. The beauty of the lightning and the volcano. And it's volcano, lightning, you all. Let me see. Gina, honey, what you did it. I did do it. Shoot. I got to click back into it. I'm trying to get myself situated is what I was trying to do. Okay, we got the volcanic lightning. I just only wanted to read what it was about. Oh, I can't touch the screen. If I touch the screen, this thing messes up on me. You can't, this is a volcanic lightning in Iceland, right here. Good morning. It's Iceland's, I can't say it, volcano in 2010. Extreme forces of nature. And what is that over there? It's probably a UFO, a small UFO right there to the side. I would say it is a small UFO. Our world is like, it's changing rapidly. We're heating up. We've got floods. We've got, can you hear me? New York with the 7 some odd inches of rain. There's more severe weather on the way, tornadoes. Let's look at some of these extreme forces of nature. It's volcanoes, and look, we got the ice. It's a lighthouse in Michigan. The frozen lighthouse in Michigan, Lake Michigan Lighthouse, takes the brunt of a frigid winter at St. Joseph, Michigan. A frigid winter. Let's look at some other ones. It's like a little wild. You got the running water. You got the torrential flooding. Look how fast that came. There's that guy knows that he would get swept away if he were to go down on that. You're welcome, Joanne. That thing. Big tidal waves. That is monster tidal waves. It look like Hawaii when they can have their surfing tournaments at a certain point. The thunder, the lightning. Good morning. I mean, it's beautiful pictures that people have documented. Hail the size as baseballs, and we had that here with the F4 tornado that showed up in Henryville, Indiana, back in, I think, maybe the early 2000s or I don't know what it was. Look at the destruction of such said events. You get washed away. The first time we ever saw this is when we had, I don't know when it was. The kids were real little. My husband was still in the military. Saw these type of clouds in the sky. It was years and years. It's been a good 15, 20 years ago or longer. And you have to ask yourself, how is that possible? Is it man-made? Did the aliens make it? Is it an act of, is it a force of nature, a force of God? And look at that sky. It's so ominous looking. The waves are massive. Your cars, and look, there's nothing they could do. There's no way they're going to get that car out. There's not. It's like in an instant. It really seems like supernatural things happening. It does. I'm going to get back to this one thing right here if I can get to it. We have reached the point of no return, and I'm sure a lot of you realize it. There's no return. There's no turning back from whence we came at all. None. It's that mini ice age. And you know what happened in the movie The Day After Tomorrow? Let's look at that. Let me see if I can turn down the light on my laptop. I got setting to the side about it. Hopefully, I can show this Day After Tomorrow thing. If you hadn't seen, no, I think I need a little bit more light. Otherwise, this is not going to Zoom in. Okay, you have to have some light. If it's not when you're showing stuff, and if you don't got enough light, your image is not going to look right. Now, let me show this. 10,000 years ago. This is the day after tomorrow. I would like to make it. We had the lightning. Change the face of our earth. This is the movie, The Day After Tomorrow. Extreme weather events, mass migration. This is like the trailer to it. It's on May the 28th. This is, I guess, when the movie comes out. When it came out, it will happen again. The day after tomorrow, they said it's going to happen again. There's New York. Where will you be? The day after tomorrow. It used to be one of my favorite movies to watch when I watched movies. Memorial Day. Memorying it. Oh, okay, that's it. You all that went by a little fast. But I was thinking about the day after tomorrow because you know what happens in that movie. You have they were calling for global warming is what they were doing. Global warming. And it was, it was having floods and everything else. And then you had this scientist. Let's just read about this. You had the scientist who, where will you be the day after tomorrow? I done a video on this. It's, let's just read this because I want to show you this. An American paleoclimatologist and his colleagues, paleo, and instrumental records from the Earth's history, reconstruction of the ancient climate, and the evolution. His colleagues, Frank and Jason, drilled for ice core samples in the Larsen Ice Shelf, right there. And they have done it in real life for NOAA. And when the ice shelf splits away at a UN press conference, there's the UN, referred to informally as the UN, an intergovernmental organization whose stated purpose is to maintain international peace and security, develop friendly relations achieve. We mentioned this last night, too. If they were to activate the alternative three, they would need something like the United Nations that would be able to control the earth. They did. At the conference in New Delhi, okay, that's in India, the scientist discusses his research showing the climate change, how it could cause an ice age. This is the climate, and we are experiencing extreme warming right now. The ongoing increase in the global average temperature and its effects on the Earth's climate system. The climate change is, in a broader sense, also includes previous long-term changes to Earth's climate. It's like a cycle. Let me see if I were to go down. Yeah, the use of that right there. It's like a cycle. If you're just tuning in, welcome. It could cause an ice age, but the U.S. Vice President, the POTUS, V. POTUS, you know who it is. This Vice President, whoever it is, dismisses the concerns. And this professor, the oceanographer, is a person known for studying, the sea science, ocean science. It's the scientific study of the oceans. It's an earth science, which covers a wide range of topics, including ecosystem dynamics, ocean currents, waves, geophysical fluid dynamics, plate tectonics, and seabed. Of the Headland Centre, Scotland, this guy Jack, um, because he has these views about the climate, inevitable climate shift, when several of the buoys in the Atlantic Ocean, here's a buoy, see it, red buoy, they just float around the water, and they're allowed to drift with the ocean current. The Atlantic Ocean is right here. There's something about the Atlantic Ocean, and something is already reversed. It shows a severe temperature drop. Rapson concludes that Jack's theories are correct, and Rapson's teams, along with NASA meteorologists, they built a forecast model based on his research. And they try to consider the evacuation of the northern states, but this vice president refuses. So a massive tropical depression develops in the northern hemisphere. Let's see what a tropical depression is. It's just up there, just twirling around. And the northern hemisphere is right up there at the tippy top. It splits 3 gigantic superstorms above Canada, Scotland, and Siberia that siphon the frozen air from the upper troposphere. The upper troposphere is way up here above the Earth if you're just tuning in. It's the lowest layer of atmosphere on the Earth. It contains 75% of the total mass of the planetary atmosphere, 99% of the total mass of water vapor and aerosol. So we got a big heat thing up there. It's like a big microwave now up there. It's where most of the weather phenomenon occurs from the planetary surface of the Earth. You can see it right here. That's the troposphere. In the center, flash freezing. So the stuff is siphons the frozen air, causing a flash freezing, and anything that is caught in their eyes, temperature below 150 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 101 degrees Celsius. The storm's magnitude is so severe in the movie that it will cause the reduction in the temperature of Earth's surface and atmosphere, entering a new ice age. Tokyo gets struck by giant hailstorm. Los Angeles gets devastated by a tornado outbreak. You can see this toward the movie. A tornado outbreak is the occurrence of multiple tornadoes spawned by the same synoptic scale weather system. So in order to qualify as an outbreak, typically there's at least 6 to 10 tornadoes with at least 2 rotational locations, or at least 2 supercells producing multiple tornadoes. 3 helicopters are sent to rescue the royal family. And New York City, this guy's son gets stuck, but he makes his way and he rescues his son. He does. The people, when the first comes the flash, let's look at this. Oh my goodness gracious! The eye of the North American superstorm passes and freezes Manhattan. Days later, the superstorm dissipates, and they find people frozen to death outside the public library. The people inside, they were burning the books, anything to keep warm. So let's look at this right here. The day after tomorrow, since there was a severe temperature drop in the Atlantic Ocean, I did a video right here on my YouTube channel. It was 7 months ago. And there was a study that was gone right here. Ocean warming is causing massive ice sheet loss in Greenland and Antarctica. And it is. The study found, and it was done in 2020, the article was written, the study was found that the ice sheet was retreating. It used 4 decades of satellite data. The authors found after 2000, the ice sheet began to shrink. This video only got 4.9 thousand views, even though the retreat of the Greenland ice sheet was likely cannot be reversed. It's just the first of a series of tipping points. If climate change continues at this rate, the rate of the ice melting will get much worse. We've passed the point of no return. but there's obviously more to come. Rather than being a single tipping point in which we're gone from a happy ice sheet to a rapidly melting ice sheet, it's more of a staircase of where we have fallen off the first step, but many more stages to go down into the pit. This was a study that was done, and this video right here that I did it on, it was an hour long, and it was based on off the scientific studies that were done. The Greenland ice sheet melted at an unprecedented rate. They've been looking at various points throughout the history that what causes the effect on our world, and I didn't put much detail to it. I got the climate change slapped on to it. The last comment was 7 months ago. The video only, they shadow banned it, but it was packed full of information. Oh, Gina, honey, look at that. What is the climate change? It's the shift in the temperatures, the carbon dioxide, the greenhouse gases causing the methane. It's heating up. We got heating up in the atmosphere is what we've got. And so this is what we've done. So if we come over here to the Greenland ice sheet, the day after tomorrow, the Atlantic Ocean, the temperatures, severe temperature drop. So the one of the belts have broken already. And Atlantic, the North Atlantic, ALANT. Let me just put this down here. I like to show my keyboards. It reminds me of that countdown when you do the live premiere, whatever. It does the countdown. Atlantic, ATLANTIC, conveyor, Atlantic. Let's just do stream. Has reversed, and just do that. Earth's climate change 20,000 years ago reversed the circulation of the Atlantic Ocean. Global warming could have the similar effects on the ocean currents and could accelerate it. So, the meridional overturning circulation, severe weather. They spot the signs of the Gulf Stream. What would happen if the ocean current reversed? This is what happens. A collapse of the North Atlantic and Antarctic overturning circulations would profoundly alter the anatomy of the world's oceans. It would make fresher at depth, delete them of oxygen, starve the upper ocean of the upwelling of nutrients provided when the deep surface happens. So, what happens if the Atlantic current shuts down? They've already done their climate models. They've done a movie on it, The Day After Tomorrow. The scientists have done real-life studies on it. What happens if it shuts down? A shutdown would have far greater impacts than a slowdown, both the marine and some terrestrial ecosystems. It would lower the average temperature and precipitation in Europe, slashing the region's agricultural output, and may have a substantial effect on extreme weather events. So it would lower the temperatures right there. What would happen if the if the Gulf Stream is stopped? If the Gulf Streams, through the Gulf Stream tipping point, though the Gulf Stream tipping point is one watched by the climate scientists with predicted consequences if the shutdown of the AMOC, rapid sea level rise on the east coast of North America, the Amazon rainforest receiving less water in Asians. So what happened was, how would the climate? Could global warming cause cold weather? There is a direct connection between human-caused climate change and increased occurrences of extreme cold, specifically warming temperatures and disrupting the polar vortex, pushing the cold air into the non-traditional areas. So let's do this. And mini ice age. little ice age abruptly triggered by intrusion of the Atlantic. They're essentially reversed the North Atlantic cooling forms 1970s, 1985s. How did they cause the little ice age? Well, we've got a lot more heat now than we had back then. Look, they try to say the Gulf Stream myth. Current global warming may reverse the circulation in the Atlantic. Subtle shifts hint at dramatic changes. And also in the study over there, when I was doing this right here on this video, it's an hour and 5 minutes long. They said that it also caused the flipping, the axis of the Earth or something had kind of tipped. 1999, Greenland shelf lost 62 square miles. And the last 4 years have been incredibly warm in the Northeast. The atmosphere in this region was warmed 3 degrees. So is the North Atlantic Ocean cooling? That's what we need to find out, because the temperature in the Atlantic, we're gonna just peek. I've never peeked at it before. What is the Atlantic? Let me just spell it right. Gina, honey, can you get it right? Yeah, I'm trying to get it right. I don't want to AIAL. Atlantic, Atlantic temperature, EEMP, drop. Atlantic, I'm going to say Atlantic Ocean. If they got it on there, we'll see it. But if not, they can record-breaking North Atlantic Ocean temperatures recorded exceptionally warm sea surface temperatures, several extreme heat waves. Is the Atlantic getting colder? Well, Earth is getting warmer. The water is actually getting colder in the subpolar North Atlantic region called the warming hole. Although some scientists predict the changing ocean temperatures like this could lead to a sudden climate change event like the movie The Day After Tomorrow. The Day After Tomorrow. It's why has the Atlantic Ocean been so cold? The major possible mechanism causing the cold ocean surface temperature anomaly based on the freshwater decrease because the conveyor has broken. It's reversed. And through this process, prevents colder water shrinking, observed freshwater increases, originates the Greenland ice melt. And according to the movie The Day After Tomorrow, this is what happens. It's an inevitable climate shift. Could this be like a catastrophic mutating event that the World Economic Forum also could be a variety of things. In January of 2023, the World Economic Forum said that there will be a catastrophic mutating event that will occur in 2 years that will change our way of life. Catastrophic. So, an inevitable climate shift. The Atlantic Ocean shows a severe drop in the Day After Tomorrow movie. And NASA meteorologist, NASA right here, and it was NASA over here on this thing right here. We found articles where they did the studies, and NASA was, behind the studies in real life. They build it. It splits a massive tropical suppression. You can see it. Now, I'm not going to do much about it at all. I'm not going to say much more. I'm just going to write the Day After Tomorrow again. The Day After Tomorrow. Day After Tomorrow. see the images of it. You can see, boom. Oh, this looks kind of interesting because, yeah, you see the Statue of Liberty, and they say the East Coast is going to get flooded. And the day after tomorrow, that's what happens. It gets flooded, and the water freezes. Um, and it turns into an ice thing, and they try to evacuate everybody from North America down into Mexico. Just think about it. There could be a reason why the borders are open to allow more people to come in, and then if they do have to evacuate, well, you've already allowed people in, so you will get better reception when you do want to evacuate. See, it's New York City. And it literally did turn. It's a good movie if you have the time to sit down and watch it. If you want to just zone out and look at some apocalyptic stuff, this is the movie for you. It really is, because this is not a joke. It's now, all jokes aside, no, this ain't no joke. It happened. The Atlantic Ocean has had a severe, let's find it. In the movie, the Atlantic Ocean shows a severe temperature drop. Look, the warming hole is not a sign of apocalyptic climate change. Why has the Atlantic Ocean been so cold? Because of the Greenland ice melt. They've been, look, it could lead. The water is actually getting colder in a subpolar North Atlantic region called the warming hole. Although the scientists predicted the change, ocean temperature like this could lead to a sudden climate change event. And they mean sudden. They only had, how many weeks did they have to get the people out of the whatever? It wasn't even a month. They didn't have as much time as they thought they had. I'm going to put this, if you wanted to watch this, when I get through with this video, I'm going to put the link here of this video. And it talks about Admiral Byrd here too, who said that what was beyond the North Pole or whatever. I did this video on December the 18th of 2022. I'm going to put this in the description. You can go there and you can look at it. But there's scientific data today to back it up. So the day after the tomorrow, let's get this something. We got record-breaking North Atlantic Ocean temperatures is what we've got. So I am going. So with that being said, y'all please give this video a thumbs up. And hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your morning. Thank you for listening and watching. Tina, honey, I take it one day at a time. My plans for today. I know I still got to go back outside to my daughter's car. There's got to do something to get the wiring. Hello, Susan B. Honey. Thank you. I've got to mess with the wiring on there and some of the terminals. They're not getting a good connection, probably because it's so old. So I've got to make sure her turn signal works and stuff. I got all kinds of stuff. I don't stop unless I come on here to do a video. I don't. It's just nonstop. It could be anything. There's not a shortage of things that I have to do around here. There isn't.